Good morning from Otoba Hills. It's a beautiful morning, um, and I'm doing a little video on land. After my interview with Kelvin Briotti, there were a lot of questions about some nice and some not so nice about how I got land. So I wanted to answer those in a little bit more detail and give people a little bit more information, and hopefully that will stop people thinking that I can somehow get them land. I cannot get you land. Um, I am simply a community member. I have no legal standing or traditional standing in the community. I am simply a community member. But I will explain to you briefly as best I know, bearing in mind I am not a legal authority on this. I'm simply somebody who has gone through this process, and I now can share that information with you. Um, so uh, it started when I returned from my travels, and I came off the Plumtree Road, which anybody who's local will know. And to my right, I saw the beautiful Matoba landscape, and I was like, oh, I'm home. It's sort of very synonymous for many people in this area with home because it's such a beautiful, unique landscape. It's a cultural heritage landscape, UNESCO cultural heritage landscape. And I just felt like that moment I knew I was home. And then I started to volunteer in the area with helping people with boreholes, helping the My Beautiful Home competition with the painted hut ladies, taking photographs of them for the competition. And I met various people, one of whom was the headman for the local area, a very nice man. And I happened to say to him, wow, can't I live in the area and, do more work for the community? And I'd love to live in the area so I can better understand the communities and the challenges they have. So I came to him with projects. I came to him with ideas of what I could potentially do for the community. Bearing in mind, I'm a business coach. I have been for over 20 years. I have worked in 6 countries on 2 continents. And so I brought potential with me. And he liked what I had to say. So he said, sure, but you have to have a meeting with the village heads. So, for anybody who doesn't know, we have a government, of course, but we also have a space in this country for traditional leadership. So, we have in this community, we have a chief, we have then a headman, we then have village heads, and the village heads look after the villages. Some villages have more than one village head. I have two. Um, the headman looks after the village heads and various areas within the area, and he reports to the chief. So I had a meeting with the village heads. I spoke to them about what my ideas were, and they very much liked that. And they identified some locations that of property that were freely available and that community members would find acceptable to give up. So while all the land in Zimbabwe belongs to the government, traditionally in these areas, the land was owned by families. And it's good manners to make sure that the families actually are okay with giving you a piece of land. I looked at several. This happened to be the one I chose is the one I loved, and I'm very happy and very grateful for it. Now, when I talk about being given land, bear in mind that in the communities in Zimbabwe, land is it belongs to the community. It belongs to the community. So yes, it belongs to the government, but it belongs to the community, and community land cannot be sold. I do not own this piece of land. I have no title deed for this piece of land. I was given a piece of land which, quite frankly, has no commercial value for anybody. Everybody is like, what are you growing here? Nothing, because it is mainly rock and it's on the edge of a rocky ridge. And I love the nature and I want to preserve the piece of nature that is here. It's quite unique because of its position and the weather. And I just wanted to enjoy living in nature. So it has no agricultural value. It has no particular value at all to the community, and nobody would have considered living here because it's not close to water, etc. So this piece of land I don't own. I do not own the land. For all those people who are aggrieved by the fact that I got a piece of land, I do not own the land. I own the assets that I have put on the land. So the home, anything that I have added value to this piece of land belongs to me. I cannot sell this land, but I can sell the assets that I've put on this land. The community agreed. So I had a meeting with the village heads, and then I had to, when I chose this piece of land, I had to meet with the community and receive their approval, and then have sign off by 6 different authorities, Agritech, the councillor, the headman, the village head, I can't remember everybody that gets sign off. And then all of this took about a year. And I didn't rush the process. I wasn't in particularly a rush at the time. So it takes time, and there is no rushing it. I can tell you that as well. For those people who want to have land in a community area, you should bring something to the community. Other than that, there is no possibility of getting community land. However, if you have family who came from a community area, a grandparent, or parents, or anybody like that, you then if they still have a homestead in that area and they didn't sell it, then you have the potential to reclaim it, but you have to have been in good standing with the community. If you were not in good standing, if they were not in good standing with the community, then there's no possibility. Men have the right to reclaim land. Women have to have good standing in order to claim any heritage situation. And then people will, then you will be, and you have to go through the same process. You have to be meet the headman, interviewed by the village heads, interviewed by the community, and then you have the opportunity to potentially be given back a piece of familial land. Other than that, this is this is just not some. My situation was very unique. People thought it was impossible. I just thought I'd try. Some chiefs are selling land, but you stand the risk of losing. You won't be able to reclaim that because it's community land. Community land is not for sale. The people who think that there are vast swathes of community land, yes, there are, but economically devoid mostly. There are areas that have great agricultural potential, but it all relies on water. I believe that every rural area has a key to economy. What is most important is that we develop rural economy. Getting a homestead in a place to live in these areas relies on a familial contact, or the fact that you're going to bring something exceptional to the community. I have already brought several projects to the community, and they're all very pleased that I have. So far, there's always going to be somebody who complains, but there's been no real problems. As far as safety in the rural area is concerned, I feel very safe. I have no problems, but I do live very simply. I possibly have more than most people here because I have a car and I have probably a slightly bigger house than they all have. But they have like 5 huts and I just have one house. So I always say to them, add up all your property, all your areas, and then Um, but they you know um, I am possibly better off, but I do work tirelessly for this community. Um, and and I don't mind doing that. I have the benefit of a beautiful piece of land that I can appreciate during my lifetime. I also made a deal with the community that there is nobody I wish to pass this piece of land to. So there's nobody who would be interested in my family. So at the end of the day, I will leave it back into the community, and the community will continue to benefit from the additions that I've made here. So I have traded off for the pleasure of being on this beautiful piece of land. So I'm sorry for those people who are angry that I got a piece of land, but I promise you I have worked for it, and I continue to work for it, and I continue to be happy to work for it. And I also know that I'm safeguarding a beautiful piece of land for future generations. I am reclaiming it from an invasive species, and I'm trying to regrow some of the beautiful nature that's here. So, any questions that you have, I will try to answer. I'm not an expert. Again, I tell you, I do want you to understand that I cannot help you get land. So please don't send me a message asking me to get you land. I have no standing to be able to do so. I recommend that you and it's not something that you can do long distance. You know, people are like, can you just apply to the headman for me? No. You need to be here personally to make any requests, and you need to have some kind of plan, and honorably see that through, um, because I do fear that there are people out there who are just looking to grab, and I'm very glad that this is community land. So I can't grab anything here. This only thing that I can grab is my home that I've built. Okay, so that's all that there is. Drop me a message. I'll try and reply. Network permitting. Um, any hate speech will be deleted because I just don't need it in my life. Thank you very much. If you are aggrieved, I'm really sorry. Um, yes, I am selective. It's my page. um, Anyhow, I just thought I would clarify all of these points, and thank you.